If you don't know, it was revealed that the Sonic movies will become Avengers-level events. I've seen many people disappointed at this, as they don't want Sonic to become an MCU-type thing, where that's on life support but still forced to keep going. I understand that, but to say Sonic Movie 3 should be the last one wouldn't work for me. They're having Sonic go through an arc of growing up and becoming more like his game counterpart. Shadow would probably survive at the end of the third movie. Knuckles is going to be doing something with Wade, and Tails has a lot of untapped potential. These characters and the world have such large shoes to grow in, and the world is so unexplored that only having 3 movies would be such a waste. I mean, we know so little about Mobius and wherever Tails came from. I would like at least to have an animated show of Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails exploring all the different planets that are out there. Anyway, I want to talk about where these movies can go, what they can adapt, and where the characters can go. So I want to pitch 3 storylines from the games that could be adapted into movies, and 2 for TV shows. So let's talk about it. First pick is for the adaptation of Sonic Unleashed. Well, kind of. Let's quickly run down the plot of Sonic Unleashed. Dr. Eggman awakens an ancient god called Dark Gaia, in the process splitting the planet into multiple pieces and giving Sonic the curse of turning into a werewolf or werehog at night. It's up to Sonic and a new companion called Chip to rejuvenate the Chaos Emeralds of their powers, re-piece the Earth back together, and stop Dark Gaia. It's pretty clear that the Werehog, no matter how cool me and a lot of Sonic fans think it is, wouldn't sit well with general audiences. His design can come off as too edgy, and his stretching powers is... well, let's just say it's a miracle Luffy worked in live action. I don't know if it would work with Sonic. Instead, I think we should loosely adapt Unleashed, kind of how Sonic 3 and Knuckles was loosely adapted in Sonic Movie 2. Let's cut out Werehog altogether. At most, have it be a one-off transformation, but even then, I don't think it should be the case. Instead, have it be just Sonic Team scrambling to fix the Earth. Literally just do Unleashed, but without the Werehog. Hell, even have Chip in there. Yes, I'm serious. Chip, as he is in the games, might be a bit too goofy for regular audiences, but if we give him a cuter voice and a much more cuter and endearing tone as a whole, he could work really well. And it isn't like he needs to stick around after the movie, since he kinda dies or traps Guy at the end. Making him a lot cuter and innocent could be a really easy way for audiences to connect and care for Chip quickly in a 2-hour movie, and it'd make the moments where we find out he's like Gaia and his sacrifice hit a lot more. I also think that it could be a great opportunity for Sonic to grow. Having Chip's bracelet be a permanent change to his design could be really cool, and Sonic could use this as an opportunity to grow. If they don't explore it in the movie afterwards, a short movie of him dealing with the guilt of Chip being a short movie of him dealing with the guilt of Chip leaving could be really interesting. It would be unlikely, considering this is a kid's movie series at the end of the day, but if Spider-Verse could have a short movie about anxiety, why can't this have it about guilt? There's just a lot you could do with Chip. I don't know what new things could be added for Tails that wasn't in the original Unleashed story, but Knuckles could be interesting. After learning how Dark Gaia being connected to the Chaos Emerald, it'd be really cool to see Knuckles spiral, but the fact that despite being the guardian of the Master Emerald, he knows so little about it. He could go on a journey learning about Dark Gaia, and could be a cool exposition device to tell the gang about Dark Gaia. I think it's best for the humans to stay out of this and just be protecting the town. If Shadow is still around, honestly I don't know what he could do. If you have any ideas for his role, feel free to tell me in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. That's all I have to say on Unleashed, so let's move on to the next topic. Sonic Forces is notorious for being bad, but I don't think it's bad, just meh. Despite its problems, it does three things amazingly: music, concept, and the avatar. The music being amazing is like a given for a Sonic game. The only game I can think of that didn't deliver was Sonic Superstars. The avatar, no matter how you feel about the gameplay, which is soured by the game as a whole, is an amazing concept and is genius considering that this is the fan base which is infamous for making an ungodly amount of OCs. Lastly is concept. In a world where forces doesn't exist, tell me this premise doesn't sound phenomenal. After teaming up with a powerful enemy, Eggman finally succeeds in taking over the world, and now it's up to a wavering rebellion made up of Sonic's friends to take their world back. Come on, that's just a dope premise, is it not? Screw the terrible writing of forces. Take the basic premise that I just said and build a new story off that. First things first, cut the avatar. They're unnecessary, and outside of a video game, it just doesn't work. Next, don't cut Infinite. Again, I'm serious. Infinite is not written well. I'm not gonna argue against that. But I think he's in the same camp as the premise as a whole, where it's a great concept with terrible execution. I say we pull a 20th Century Boys and have a mystery surrounding his identity. Let's have him connected to Shadow in some way. I'll get to it later in the TV show section, but I think it'd be cool to have a show of after movie 3 where Shadow loses his memories, or more that he himself is keeping himself away from it, and he's so angry he messes with a lot of people. One of these people could be set into a horrible spiral and they become Infinite later in this movie. A mystery surrounding Infinite could take up a lot of the runtime. You could do a lot here. There's so much untapped potential where you could bring together everyone, even the human characters, to fight. You could also have this be a growth movie for Shadow, where he learns to make up for his mistakes and not blindly run around. You could do a lot here, and the potential for action is infinite. I think Tails being a coward can work here. You can have him be confident at first, but then get a little rattled the first time Sonic loses, and then he'll get even more rattled, and he can have like this mini descent. Maybe after one or two more hiccups in the rebellion's plans, escalating in how much it pushes them to the corner, it could make his confidence plummet and have him go insane. You could have this arc of trying to find Sonic or do something to restore his confidence. You could even end this arc halfway with forces and have a Frontiers type thing where he still has doubts and he has to iron them out in a later date. Having Knuckles go through rogue may not work, and I'd rather have Amy or Tails be the commander of the rebellion, so I'm not sure what he could do. Sonic could have an arc of feeling powerless, then picking himself back up. That's honestly all I have to say about Forces, so let's move on to the last movie pitch.
Wow, that's a pretty snazzy performance there. I'm Sonic.
Sonic 06 is in the same camp as Forces. I'd argue it has a better reception, but only among the Sonic community, thanks to Project 06. Let's quickly run down the plot. Oh, it's gonna be so complicated to explain. Princess Elise is being hunted down by both Eggman and Mephiles to make her cry and awaken an ancient god called Iblis. Mephiles wants to combine with Iblis and become a god called Solaris, strong enough to wipe the entire timeline of Sonic. But Sonic falls in love with Elise. Silver the Hedgehog is from a ruined future and is manipulated by Mephiles to kill Sonic, and Shadow is trying to stop Mephiles. Yeah, there's a lot that happens, and I've even glossed over quite a bit of stuff. Now, let's try and fix this mess so it'll be fit for a movie. First things first, let's cut out Sonic and Elise's romance. Even for Sonic fans, this is too much. I think it would have been fine if Elise looked more like a cartoon, but whatever. I still want to keep Elise though. It would be cool to develop Sonic and Elise's relationship and have them be more like best friends. And we can all agree that Elise crying, being the trigger for Iblis's awaken, is dumb. It's absurd to think she's never cried until the end of the game. Instead, I'd want the trigger to be her experiencing grief. She already cries at Sonic's death in the game, and that awakens Iblis. So to have it be a grief would work a lot better here, and would make Sonic's death have a lot more meaning. Next, let's shave down the plot to make it less complicated. I don't know how people will react to this, but I want to cut Eggman's role to as little as possible. Kind of just bumbles around the entire game, never doing anything more than kidnapping Elise anyway. I think here, he should still be relevant, but have Mephiles work with and manipulate him in the background, but he's still like a very minor role. Mephiles should be the main villain. It should be clear that he is trying to... It should be clear that he can awaken Iblis through Elise at any time, but he just wants to toy with everyone. There should be a moment where every team, Team Silver, Sonic, and Shadow, beat Mephiles, but this is just to raise their hopes before Mephiles crushes them by killing Sonic just when they least expect. All for the sake of fun, because he's that evil. I think they should blatantly say this and show this. Or, hear me out, kill Donut Lord. He's important enough to be impactful to Sonic and the fandom, but not so important that children will really care, because, he's not a Sonic character. Lastly, let's talk about Silver. I want Silver to get the spotlight so bad. He's been severely sidelined, and we saw Knuckles be fixed by the movies, so I'm sure Silver will be given some justice. And I don't really mind if Blaze is here or not. It would be cool to have her be, but it also might be too stuffed with all the characters and the plots going on. I'm not sure how characters could change here. If Shadow has Rouge and Omega, then this movie could be something for him to strengthen his bonds with them. As for the other characters, I really don't know. If you have any ideas, let me know. Now that we've talked about 3 movie pitches, let's go over the TV show pitches quickly. I'm finding myself pitching adaptations for a lot of bad games that have bad stories. And I'm gonna do it again. All hell Shadow the Hedgehog!
Can you see all of me? Walk into my mystery. Step inside and hold for dear life. Do you remember me? Capture you and set you free. I am all of me.
Yes, I'm serious. I want a Shadow series. Except, I don't want an adaptation of the game. Well, maybe not a full adaptation. I want a Sonic Unleashed and Forces type thing, where they share the basic premise with the games, but a lot has changed. I don't mind having Black Doom here, but he should absolutely not be connected to Shadow's past. I think he should see a confused Shadow and manipulate him. Make him think they're connected, but in actuality they aren't. The only reason he knows what Shadow's past is maybe he has the power to see someone's past or something. I don't know, you can decide what his power would be able to know that. You could have Black Doom groom Shadow to be angry, and Black Doom could enlist Shadow's help to perhaps hunt the Chaos Emeralds. Here along the way, Shadow could mess with a lot of people as Black Doom manipulates him to be controlled by his anger, and he could go to a bunch of planets hurting people. This could set up someone to be hurt really badly by him, and eventually becoming infinite in a later movie. You could have Shadow be frustrated at his confusion and memory loss. Even with Black Doom feeding him an origin story that he's in, Shadow can tell that Black Doom isn't telling the full truth, but it's all he has. He can become desperate and try to figure out his true past, but because of Black Doom grooming him to be angry, he can start to internalize that and get angry at himself for forgetting and maybe even suppressing it even more. perhaps the show could happen over the course of a long time. The Black Doom's armada raids multiple planets, and the last one is Earth. Here you could have Sonic and his friends reach out to Shadow and help pull him out of his confusion. It could end with Black Doom beating all the main characters, and Shadow goes Super, and have the final battle. And honestly, that's all I have to say about the Shadow show, so let's move on to the last topic. Sonic Colors is actually a good game. Well, most think so. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's just okay. I'm just not a big fan of the Wisp gimmick, and the 2D sections aren't that fun for me. Oh, and the spring levels suck. That being said, it seems agreed by most of the Sonic fanbase that this game is great. But what it does well in gameplay, it sacrifices in storytelling. Yeah, the game's premise is kinda cool, but the execution isn't great. Its story is that Sonic and Tails go to a theme park made from multiple planets that's run by Dr. Eggman. Sonic is convinced that there's something nefarious going on about the theme park, and he stumbles on a conspiracy about Eggman harvesting these aliens called Wisps. Cool premise, right? Well, most of the game consists of terrible jokes and explaining that terrible joke to make it even more unfunny. But once again, it's a good concept ruined by execution. I'm honestly not entirely sure what you could do with this. It could be an animated show, since it would cost a lot to do the theme park. You could have this be a pretty light-hearted, because, oh boy, I put some heavy stuff today. But honestly, that's all I have to say on it. I don't think the characters can change all that much in it, and there's not much else. I know this video went to some strange places. I pitched some stories that might be a bit too much for kids, and some of the scale might be a bit too unrealistic, but hey, it's my pitch. And honestly, I wish they did more of this. It's very unlikely. This is a kids franchise after all, no matter how good Spider-Verse is with its rich and depth storytelling and what it's able to tackle. I don't think a lot of cartoons or kid shows will do that. I don't think the Sonic universe can tackle too much of this stuff because they are aiming really young kids, whereas like stuff like Spider-Verse is aiming for teenagers. So I don't know, this is just my dream pitch. I would love for them to do this. I doubt they would. Yeah. And that's all, folks. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you'll return next time. Let me know what you think of my thoughts, what you think of your thoughts, and generally feel free to share your thoughts as long as they're on topic and civil. There's no point in being toxic over a video game franchise, and it's just a lot more fun to have a civil conversation. Like, we only hurt ourselves when we be toxic. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. If you don't know, this is just an outro segment. Some YouTubers will have just like some music playing on while you like click off and find something else to watch. I'm just gonna ramble off script for a bit and just tell you a bit about any recent stuff that I want to talk about. And yeah, it took me a long time to get out a couple videos. Like the last one, Usopp vs Nobara, that took me a while to get out. I'm not gonna lie, I had like written script, recorded, half edited, ready to go for like, it was like half edited for like a week, and I didn't finish it because I was reading 20th Century Boys, which I finished, and one of the best manga I've read. I was a bit unsure on Friend by the end. There were quite a bit of stuff that I wasn't a big fan of, but I still think it's a goddamn masterpiece. It felt so magical reading. I had such a blast with it that I just can't get over it. I still think about it, and yeah, I can't believe it. I've also been watching some new anime that have been airing weekly. Crunchyroll has been hyping up Kaiju number 8 for like hell. They've been counting down the days for each episode, which is crazy. They're really banking a lot on this, and I hope it succeeds. I mean, I knew about Kaiju number 8 a while ago, but around the time I heard it was only like 8 chapters and I didn't want to read it. I honestly wish I did, but I'm kind of glad I'm watching for the anime for the first time, and I do plan to read the manga afterwards because it sounds like an awesome premise, and the art style is amazing. Like the main kaiju looks so cool, and I think it has a lot of potential. I've also been watching Whisper Me a Love Song, which is a Yuri anime, which is pretty different from Kaiju number 8, and so far it's way better than Bloom Into You. I'm a certified Bloom Into You hater, so yeah, it's really cool. Lastly is what is it called, Go Go Loser Ranger. I love it so much. It has it's only 2 episodes in, but it already has the potential to be one of my favorite anime of all time. I love the premise, the designs, the OP is godlike. I love it. It's just generally amazing. And I think, I don't know what else to say. I'm excited for the Undead Unluck chapter this week, as usual. This Uma language fight has been pretty cool. I haven't been covering it because I don't really have anything to say on it. It's pretty cool. Fang is great. Think of this as my pseudo review. It's just great all around, consistently great. I'm not looking forward to Jujutsu Kaisen chapter. I can't. Every week I'm just like, oh yeah, that's coming out this week. I guess I'll read it when it comes out. And I read it, I'm like, okay, I either like it or don't like it. I look on Reddit to see I see people's reactions to it. Like I look up like discussions of it, and then for like a day, and I'm like, okay, I can't be bothered to. I don't care anymore. That's just a repeat. And One Piece is just consistently great as well. It's back after a 3-week hiatus, which is mad. I've seen some lobotomy piece post on the subreddit, which is hilarious. But yeah, oh damn, this outro is long. Anyway, I'll leave you to watch something else, and hope you'll return to another video or watch something else. And goodbye.